They say you reap what you sow, and I believe that's true. I grew up in Elwood, Long Island in the 1950s, attending kindergarten in a real red schoolhouse, the kind you see in movies. Just beyond the woods lived the Sisters of Saint Benedict, Polish nuns who ran a nursing home. To us kids, the place was spooky. We were convinced witches lived there, and none of us dared wander too close. But my father did. The sisters were poor, overlooked by both the church and the state. Still, Dad respected their hard work and showed up to help, no questions asked. And as we got older, the spooky excuse stopped working. My siblings and I were expected to pitch in too. Friends were recruited. There was always sod to lay, leaves to rake, things to fix. And yes, the work was hot and hard. But I still remember the incredible lunches they made us, the kind that tasted like gratitude. When Pope John Paul, also Polish, was elected, everything changed. He knew the sisters personally, and suddenly their order began to grow. People began leaving them land, and soon my parents were asked to help drive nuns to Detroit and Florida to check on properties. What started as simple kindness turned into a lifelong friendship. The sisters even made it known that any Jasikoff was welcome to stay at their nursing home, despite the wait list and the fact that they rarely allowed men into the care home. Which leads me to a favorite story. Years later, while visiting my parents in Saratoga, nuns came to dinner. Two I recognized from Elwood. We were reminiscing when I asked why they didn't allow men in the home. One sister answered, completely serious, "Oh, Lou, we used to, but it causes too many catfights." I must have looked confused, so she added, even being nuns and in their 80s and 90s, they still fight over the men. I guess some things never change. Another time, during that same visit, the nuns insisted on doing yard work, part of their daily vow of labor. Our neighbors driving by saw our yard filled with nuns in full habits, mowing the lawn and weeding the garden. Needless to say, many slowed down. We're sure they were wondering what the Jasikoffs were up to. Hey, we're still laughing about that. But here's what matters most. When my father had a stroke and lay in a coma in Albany, those same sisters traveled 4 hours each day to sit by his side and pray the rosary in Polish. Then they drove another 4 hours home, every day. The nuns never forgot who helped them, and in return they gave back more than they ever received. That's the lesson. Be the one who walks through the spooky woods. Lend a hand, show up, because what you plant in kindness grows in ways you'll never expect.